Here, speaking up and for your national parks. All across the islands of this nation. The places God visits for vacation. Spanning over 2.5 million acres of land and sea. How delighted then he must be to see a sea of pink. As flamingos mingle and haven like jingles play where queen counts still sleep. And if you listen.
Now is brought to you by Commonwealth Brewery Limited.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Rundown. It's great to have you all with us again for another night. Well, thousands of Bahamas Power and Light customers left in the dark last night, including even right here, our team at ZNS. You would have seen the outage last night in the middle of our show. After a major outage knocked out the electricity of nearly half of the residents here in the capital. Now, Bahamas Power and Light Company's Chief Operating Officer, Anthony Christie, confirms the issue originated at one of its primary generation plants.
We lost about 83 megawatts of generation on the system. So immediately our teams assessed and determined what the root cause was and started restoration. We had a lot of spare capacity at the other plants, so we started to bring on those units. So the longest the outage was for most customers, for a minimum amount of customers, about an hour. I was returned to service in 2 minutes. Some people were 20 minutes or less. So it was a varying length of time, but the longest was about an hour.
According to BPL officials, the outage was not due to weather, but a systemic issue. The power purchasing agreements signed today are expected to help prevent instances like last night's outage.
PPAs are adding more generation, cheaper generation that, boosts our capacity, but anything can happen, cleaner fuel, etc. So the cost of production will go down. But again, if something happens on the system, our goal is to restore and use our spare capacity that's available to get everything back to normal as quick as possible.
Well, 3 power purchasing agreements were officially signed today, signaling a major shift underway in the energy sector. The Davis administration committed to generating a new energy era, bringing solar and LNG power both to New Providence and the Family Islands. Devontae Hanna is on the story tonight.
The Davis administration taking a significant step on its road to achieving 30% renewable energy by 2030. This morning, Bahamas Power and Light Company inked 3 power purchasing agreements promising to construct solar-powered microgrids on several Family Islands and the capital.
Light bills have already decreased, and they are set to go even lower. In the near future, frequent power outages will be a thing of the past.
Out with the old and in with the new. The Davis administration joining forces with Eco Energy Bahamas Limited to deliver the capital's first ever 20-megawatt solar plant along with a 5-megawatt-hour battery system in Coral Harbor.
With the development of this facility, we are taking a decisive step towards reducing our dependence on imported fossil fuels, stabilizing electricity costs, and enhancing grid reliability.
2 additional deals also signed, bringing LNG and solar-powered microgrids to Exuma, but first, Abaco and Eleuthera.
Construction is scheduled to begin in the third quarter of 2025, with an expected completion date in the third quarter of 2026.
We're going to be installing 8.5 megawatt LNG production in Georgetown, Exuma, accompanied with a 3-megawatt solar production.
According to Energy Minister, the Honorable JoBeth Colby Davis, these reforms will ensure residents on every major island have access to the same quality and affordability of electricity as those in New Providence.
To be clear, this moment is an opportunity for the Bahamas to lead in sustainable energy generation, reduce carbon emissions, and secure a brighter future for our citizens.
And the Prime Minister is convinced this move will open the door to greater economic growth and opportunity.
We have expedited progress across all fronts, expanding our LNG and solar capacity throughout New Providence and the Family Islands.
For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Devontae Hanna.
Thanks a lot, Devontae. And of course, energy is something that, of course, people are watching closely to see whether the government will be able to get it right and will be able to make a revolutionary change, which is being able to continuously lower the cost of electricity for the Bahamian people and bring more reliable energy. And these diversification efforts, we're told, are expected to play a major role in being able to do just that. And so should the administration be able to deliver on what they're trying to do and attempt to do, it could be a revolutionary change to the way we know in our country when it comes to energy reforms, right? Not just talking about it, but actually seeing it come to fruition and benefiting from it. I want to turn to a different topic tonight. We have several issues, grounds we're going to cover tonight. But the first one in this segment we're going to talk about is something that is of serious concern in our country. With several suicides and attempted suicides already recorded for the year, there's really been a lot of talk about it, a lot of concern as to what is going on. And there's one politician who is expressing concern. Progressive Liberal Party Senator, the Honorable Darren Pickstock, released a video yesterday lamenting that the country must change its approach to mental health challenges. And Senator Pickstock joins me tonight to share more words on this focus and what he's trying to do. Senator Pickstock, welcome to the Rundown. Good to have you back here again. A different focus tonight. Yeah. Why did you decide that this video was important for you to put together and release?
Well, Clint, first off, thank you. Thanks for having me on the Rundown tonight. And, you know, I wanted to add my voice to the alarming number of suicides taking place in our country, 6 for the year. And what is also telling is that most of the victims are men.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to certainly add my voice to the discussion to let people know that, you know, there is help if they're in a dark place, and to let them know and to let the public know that we need to have more discussion surrounding suicide. We need to change the conversation surrounding suicide. We need to ensure that victims and people feel that there's help that they can get if they're in a place where they're suffering.
What do you believe perhaps is leading to this feeling of helplessness and hopelessness, that life just doesn't seem to continue and go on? What in your view do you believe is leading to that?
Well, you know, there are a number of things that can be leading to that trend, Clint. I mean, a lot of suicides we see, a lot of this trend is happening in Grand Bahama. We know that they've faced many challenges from Dorian to the pandemic, even in Nassau, the pandemic, and people generally sometimes feel like there is a sense of hopelessness. Mm-hmm. And so it is important that, you know, we as a nation change the conversation and do away with the stigma and all of the verbiage surrounding suicide and all of the misunderstandings, I call them, surrounding suicide. So people feel comfortable in talking about the topic. So people feel that they have someone trusted that they can go to, whether it's a friend, whether it's a close relative, you know, whether it's the crisis center. We need to change that conversation so people feel comfortable coming to us to speak about when they're in a place of helplessness.
There's a lot that's been going on worldwide.
Yes.
Here at home, we're part of the global village.
That's
for the past decade. People are faced with a lot. People are stressed.
Yes.
People are burdened.
Yes.
How do we get the answers to people as to how to handle situations that seem almost impossible, right? In America, it seems as though seeing a therapist is not new. People do it every day, and it's almost like you have a doctor, you have a dentist, you have a pediatrician, you got a therapist. People are accepting it more in our neighbors to the north. But here, you tell somebody I'm in therapy or I'm seeing a therapist, and people say, "Oh, what's going on with you?
Yes.
What's wrong with you?"
Yes.
There is a stigma attached to it. How do we begin to I guess, normalize that is not necessarily a bad thing.
Yes.
It's healthy, and it's something you ought to do without people feeling as though I have to shun this.
Yes, I think we need to have more conversation surrounding suicide. You know, we need to take that stigma away from suicide, and that's through education, Clint. That's through talking about suicide in our various spheres, whether it's in our churches, whether it's in our communities, whether it's in our schools. We all have a part to play. Like you said, we're part of a global village, and so we must all pitch in to be a part of the conversation. You know, no longer should we look at this topic as taboo, and that is precisely what has been happening. So we have to remove that stigma away from suicide, and let's have a conversation. You know, that's what our churches are there for.
Yeah.
You know, let's have a conversation, Clint.
How far is this advocacy going for you? What do you plan on hoping to do with, now that you've released this video? Does it stop there, or is this the beginning of a longer cause that you plan on pushing?
Well, this is part of a longer cause that I plan on pushing. I mean, I've been impacted by suicide, and so this is a cause that I plan to push so that people feel comfortable, until people feel comfortable coming to, whether it's me or a family member or some other organization or grassroots organization, that they can express themselves and feel comfortable doing so.
Lieutenant Fitzlock, thank you for coming and talking with us. At least that's what needs to happen. Like you said, this conversation needs to be had. People need to talk more about it until we see there is a change in our society. We appreciate you coming on the show tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. And we've got several elements in tonight's show. As I said earlier, the heart-wrenching story of an Abaco mother pleading for her daughter to get a proper education. Then, political talk with an activist who weighs in on the recent issues facing the opposition Free National Movement. And that's not all. The government also appealing to young people to spread the message of climate change and become a climate youth ambassador. All of that and more when the Rundown returns on the ZNS Network after the break. Stay with us.
Hi everyone, when heading to Florida to shop for your essentials, book your transportation with GoGoFlorida.com. The $100 cash deposit is back now on your debit card. Accepted at Fort Lauderdale, Miami, Palm Beach, and Orlando. Now there are lots of options to choose from, but I like the Tesla X, the electric vehicle, because I don't have to worry about gassing up. Or the Jeep Compass Seating 5 with lots of space for your luggage or shopping bags. For the best deals, book now at GoGoFlorida.com, BahamasAir.com, and also available at Bahamas Air Sales Office.
The internet isn't just for surfing. There's a sea of shoppers buying online, and you can connect with them on Tingsy. Tingsy is the SBDC's online storefront built for Bahamians. Take your business to the next level by selling to customers online, both at home and around the world. People want Bahamian things, and if you got things to sell, sell on Tingsy. Find out how you can connect with a sea of buyers by visiting TingsyBahamas.com.
I am a master plumber by profession. I've been doing plumbing for over 40 odd years. When I was 9 months old, I was diagnosed with polio. To me, living with polio, I took it the way it is. I never allowed my polio to get in my way of anything. In fact, I love when people doubt me, and I just prove them wrong. And let me tell you, in the world, you could only find a plumber as good as me, but you ain't gonna find no plumber better than me. People with disability, they just need a chance. In this program, I feel so encouraged. Most of the mentors have different kind of disability, but disabilities like me. Sharing and caring and showing so much support with people with disability. They would encourage you to go beyond. I wish this was around a long time ago. Right now, I would have been a millionaire. You out there who have a disability, don't be afraid. Take the step. If you believe it, you could achieve it. And remember one thing, ain't no one better than me, and ain't no one better than y'all. God made all us equal.
For more information about how the SBDC can help your small business to make a big impact, give us a call at 461-7232 or visit SBDCBahamas.com.
Welcome back to the Rundown, and a special good evening to all of you joining us in the lines and on social media, or if you're watching on YouTube or around the region, in the country, wherever you may be around the world. Welcome to the Rundown. Thank you for joining us, or here at home. Well, there's a mother in Abaco who's pleading to the Ministry of Education officials to keep her child in school. That's correct. You heard me correctly. Deandra Newton's 7-year-old daughter has cerebral palsy. She maintains that despite her daughter's disability, she's a smart child who can read and write. Tonight, Deandra joins me from her home in Abaco with more on this story. Good evening, Deandra. Welcome to the Rundown. You and your beautiful daughter, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having us. Good evening.
I was so happy to see you reach out to me. I saw your story on social media, and I saw somebody tag me in it and said, you ought to want to hear about this story. And I read it, and I was like, okay, this can't be happening in the Bahamas, but it apparently is. Tell us about this story. Tell us, in a nutshell, what happened and what transpired, what caused you to raise concern and alarm publicly about the treatment of your daughter. Go ahead and tell us.
From 2023, my baby would have turned 5. I was trying to get her into the government system. And I kept being told that there's no teacher's aides, there's not enough teacher's aides. Okay. So I turned to private schooling. I turned to the special school here. Nothing worked out for me. The private schooling was too expensive with our bills, our medical bills. So we had to pull her away. And then with the school here for special children, every child counts, she started to act like the children who actually have special needs, like who's mentally challenged. So that's not her case. So she had to be removed. So going through all of this still in 2023, I'm to the ministry's office in Marsh Harbor, Abaco, and I'm being told there's not enough teacher's aid once more. I'm waiting patiently. Days turn to weeks, turn to months. I'm still being told the same thing. I'm making visits there. I'm making phone calls there. I'm still being told the same thing. We're now into 2024. I got her into the school, the same private school that I had mentioned. She did grade 1 there first, and she stayed home basically half of 2024. So she got registered for September at CAP, Central Abaco Primary School. She went into grade 2. She was doing fine until I think it was about March. The janitress, she left because the janitress was assisting us with getting her to and from the restroom. After the janitress had left, the teacher, she took over. And she was assisting, and I made sure I explained to her. I said, I know this is not your responsibility, and I know you don't have to do it, but I appreciate it so much. I expressed my thanks to her, and also the janitress. I expressed that to her also on more than one occasion. 2 weeks ago, yesterday made 2 weeks, my baby, she's been home. I received a phone call while at work. The principal, she told me that today would be the last day for the teacher assisting royalty to the restroom. I would need to go and speak to the Ministry of Education. We need a teacher say there's no one to assist her. So within so many words, that's her telling me, my baby, she can't come to school because if she can't use the restroom, how is she supposed to be in school if there's no one to assist her to the restroom? The bathroom isn't located in the classroom. Like when she was attending the private school, where she can get up out of her seat and she can hold on and walk to the bathroom and come back. She's fully potty trained. She doesn't need anyone to be in the stall with her to use the bathroom, just to get her there and back. So I went to the school, I picked up my child, and I explained to the teacher why I'm taking her out of school early. And she was in shock. She was in awe herself. So then she explained to me that there was a fight 2 days ago when she was in a restroom with royalty. And I can understand it didn't supposed to happen. It shouldn't have happened. But I can't get mad because it happened, because the teacher can't assist her. So I went back to the ministry once more. And I was being told again, there's no teacher's aid. Now, I'm just cutting the story short. I'm not prolonging it like how I should, giving you all the details, but I'm giving you the important parts of it. I went to the Ministry of Education countless of times here in Marsh Harbor, Abaco. And I've been told the same thing from 2023 to now, 2025. This is ridiculous. This is crazy. I need assistance with getting her into school.
How do you feel as a mother in the Bahamas? Obviously, every parent wants the best for their child and wants a good education. And I must say right at the top, for the condition that your daughter has, she seems to be amazing. It's a miracle, I think, just by itself, of her ability to be able to function. And I understand why you want her to be around a normal environment so that she can help be pushed and further develop that. But do you feel as a mother that you've been cheated from what is a basic right for your child?
Yes, I feel like I've been cheated. When it comes to our educational system, I feel like I have. Because she has a physical disability. And only so far, because she can get up and she can make a few steps, but she can't go for long periods of time. She can't balance on her own like we could balance because her knees are bent and she's on her toes due to her condition. She has cerebral palsy. So it's affecting her legs. She has spastic dysplasia. It's affecting her legs. We do Botox injections every 3 months in Miami. Wow. It's a bit costly, but $23.93 every 3 months. But I want the best for my child, And that's just the injections. That isn't hotel, ticket, car, food. That's just the injections.
What kind of progress has she made when being in those normal classrooms and environments with her development and education?
My baby can read. My baby can write. She can spell. Oh my gosh. And she's made friends. I don't feel though as if she needs to be shut up at home in the front of a screen with homeschooling or virtual homeschooling, they call it. No, she needs to be in an environment where she can function as a normal child because mentally she's normal. She's normal and she doesn't let this get in her way. If you ask her, she's not disabled. If you ask her, she feels like she's normal, and I'm not going to take that from her.
Well, I want to talk to her a second. Is that all right?
That's fine.
Hello.
Are you okay?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, sure.
How are you?
Good.
And welcome to the show. It's so good to have you. Such a pretty young lady.
Thank you.
Do you love school?
Yeah, sure.
What's your favorite subject in school?
Math.
Do you miss being in school every day?
Yeah, sure.
What do you want to happen?
I want me to go back in school.
You want to go back to school?
Yes, sir.
Well, you have a brave mother, and she's fighting to make sure that you have every opportunity to learn. And there are many of us who are just meeting you for the first time that are hoping for the best for you to go back in school, okay?
Yes, sir.
What do you want to say to your teachers? Do you want to say anything to all of your teachers who are there listening and watching?
No, sir.
I don't blame you. I don't want to talk to my teachers after school either. Well, thank you for talking with us. And we're definitely going to hope and fight and pray that things work out for you. Okay, beautiful?
Yes, sir.
Let me ask you, Deandra, she's a remarkable young lady, very articulate, and clearly, obviously, understanding what's going on. Have there been low points for her because of not being able to go to school? What has she said to you?
Well, every other day, she's asking, Mommy, when am I going back to school? When will I be able to go back to school? And it's heartbreaking because the only answer I have for her is soon. They're working on getting someone to assist you to the restroom. And that's me lying to her because they're lying to me, so I gotta lie to her.
Yeah. It's unfortunate, and I'm sure we're going to get to the bottom of it. We have a Minister of Education I've known Gladys Anna Martin for a very long time, and if she sees this story, she's going to definitely want to find out what can be done to ensure this young, beautiful angel is able to be back in school. She's so smart already, and to be able to get help. And so we're definitely going to stay on this story. We're going to do what we can to get some answers, and hopefully we'll have a good follow-up to this story of her being back in school. Deandra, thank you for joining us tonight and telling us your story as a brave mother. Any final thoughts you want to say tonight?
I just want to say to parents out there who's battling the issues that my family and I are with having a child with a disability, don't give up. You might have a situation where your case isn't as bad as mine. Thank God it isn't as bad. Some kids with cerebral palsy can't move, can't speak. I've had some mothers reach out to me today telling me their situations, and it's really heart-wrenching. Don't give up. It's easier said than done. I cried multiple times. I wanted to give up multiple times. I felt like I wanted to run away, to be honest. But if I give up on her, who's going to be there for her? I'm a mother. I'm all she have, along with the rest of my family, her dad, her grandparents. But I'm her mother, you know? She's more closer to me. Who's going to help her if I give up on her? So we can't give up. In spite of what's going on, we got to fight together. We have to bring awareness to disability here in the Bahamas, and we have to make it a better place for our little ones.
Well, DeAndre, she now has a whole nation behind her now with you. So we're all standing with you, and we're hoping for the best, and we're going to be there for you in whatever way we can. Thank you for being so brave for her and for the voice of so many voiceless persons out there who cannot talk and speak about these issues they're facing. Thank you for your strength tonight and for talking with us in a rundown. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having us.
Our pleasure. And still to come tonight, we're going to get into that political talk. We've been talking about it all week. We have a well-known political activist who's got a lot to say about what's been happening with the opposition. We're going to talk to him right after the break. Stay with us.
Is the Little Caesars Stuffed Crust Pizza. Get more pizza for less money. Only $12. It's a whole new level of pizza with cheese stuffed crust so spectacular that there's nothing left.
Pizza.
A delicious pepperoni pizza with the crust stuffed with lots of cheese and brushed with butter and garlic flavor and sprinkled with Parmesan cheese. Hot and ready Thursday to Saturday between 4 and 8 for only $12. Simply irresistible. And only at Little Caesars.
Pizza.
Bahamas Striping Group of Companies, we have been in Exuma now for the past 4 years, carrying out our paving program. A part of our company's philosophy is to do some work to international standards. So when you look at our paving division, we have a state-of-the-art lab to do all of our testing in-house, as well as a state-of-the-art asphalt plant with a trained technician carrying out the work on that site. The overarching goal of our company is to produce the work that we're doing in the entire Bahamas to international standards. We also make a difference by the training of our staff. We have a very intensive training program going on to where we are teaching young men how to learn the art of striping. Being a young man myself, I've made mistakes in the past. I was given a second chance to better my life, and it's only fitting that we pass it along. What's important for us is giving them a second chance for them to get a skill and a career that could take them further in life.
Planning the execution of a newscast is serious business. From the assignment to the concept of the story, everything has to be precise, on point, always. The Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, is your trusted news service. We get it right the first time. Our preparation for you each night is done with care, knowing that our voices will reach you on 700 islands and keys with unquestionable accuracy. It gives me great pleasure each night to say,
welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. I'm your national anchor, Mukesh Lapinder.
Even so, you'll have to leave. The presence of a priest could disturb the patients.
How so?
Connotations of hell and damnation.
My daddy's a wizard.
So are you, by the look of it.
But like you, I'm bound by certain legal and ethical principles. Produce a court order, and I'd be happy to oblige.
Welcome back to The Rundown. We're talking about politics in this segment. He's known for his political messages on social media with a very large audience, I guess. They're telling me this. They must know this better than I can. Political activist Richard Johnson joins us in The Rundown tonight to give his take on the current political climate. He's been busy. He's known for his messages in the morning, I would note, because for the first year of being press secretary, he troubled me every morning, including me in his voice notes, and attacking me for the first year as press secretary. And Now, I think he's calmed down a bit. Richard Johnson, welcome to the Rundown. Good to have you.
Clint, it's good to be here for the first time, and I'm excited to be here.
Thank you.
Talk about this issue.
Thank you. So let's jump right into it. Obviously, the Free National Movement on Sunday made an announcement that they would not be renominating Dr. Minnis, former Prime Minister, leader of the party, in his Kalani seat, a seat that he's won for several consecutive runs. Desmond Bannister said he didn't put his name in the hat because he knew he wouldn't give him the delight of trying to tell him he couldn't run either. This seems to be, obviously, one can only guess and speculate why the FNM decided not to run him. Either they felt they needed to distance themselves from him, or they felt that it would send a different message, or they're going in a different direction. Whatever it is, they felt that it's better to run somebody different in that. What say you? You've been a part of that organization for a very long time. You've had public spats with them as of late. We're all aware of it and what's happening with the courts. What say you about this latest move?
So let me just say in the onset to your listeners that I am not here to speak on behalf of Dr. Minnis. I'm here in my independent capacity. As you know, I'm no longer a member of the Free National Movement.
Correct.
As of last year, June. And I wish every Bahamian who are a voter to run away from the FNM, to run from the FNM.
Why?
In this election. This crew, this leadership crew, since taking over in 2021, they have created a culture in the FNM that it's either their way or it's the highway. There's a dictatorship crew in place. They break every rule in the constitution of the Free National Movement. I have been in a legal battle with them because of my rights. The Women's Association went to court with them in a legal battle. And so again, they will continue to perpetuate that they are the gods in the FNM. You know, the Free National Movement was built of men and women who believe in this freedom of speech, the freedom of movement, and a right to, to have dissenting views. But this crew, under Pintard and Dwayne Sands, how dare you speak to us in any kind of way? How dare you challenge us in any sort of way? Because we are the gods in the Free National Movement. And that's where we are today. They are driven by hate. They're driven by hate and they're driven by spite. You know, Dr. Minnis has his flaws, but Dr. Minnis is a man who I believe, who did some good for this country. Me and him were not friends between 2012 and 2019. He called me in his office in 2019 and said, "You need to talk to me." I said, "You ain't talking to me because me and you ain't like that." He said, "I need to talk to you because I see the future in you. You have some good potentials. Come to my office." That was the next day. I did that. I went to his office at 0 p.m. We sat in that meeting for 2 hours. He told me about my backside. I told him about his backside. And after that one was over, because that's real man. Why is Dr. Minnis being ousted out? The man who gave the FNM the biggest victory in the history of the FNM. The biggest victory. You know, over 90,000 people came out that election and voted. The government body today, they would have only 4 seats in the parliament.
Right.
They almost decimated the opposition, the PLP. But he's not treated with respect. Arinthia Kumalafi. She could be celebrated and welcomed in the Free National Movement when she was one of the cheerleaders against the Free National Movement, vividly against the FNM. But she is touted and celebrated in the Free National Movement. Dr. Dwayne Sands, particularly Dr. Dwayne Sands, he needs to go back in his profession. I will hope Jobed Colby-Davis, the Minister for Transport, please, I come in to help you. We want to ensure that he never see the reins of Parliament again in this country, all right? Dr. Minnis will speak on this matter. I believe that he needs to speak and speak strong, strike while the iron is hot, hurt them where it hurts, hit them where it hurts, and show people that you're really from being down. They have disrespected the Prime Minister, I mean, in so much disrespect. I mean, Clint, it is unbelievable.
Are your views of the FNM, are they what it is because of what you have gone through, and this is for you reclaim justice. Is that why you feel this way about the FNM?
It is what I went through. I would have went through a physical attack at the FNM headquarters after the by-election because of my stance and my opposition to their failed incompetency. I was just in Grand Bahama 2 days ago with a court matter in reference to a death threat I received early part of this year because I take a stand against the free national movement.
You were threatened?
I had a death threat. There was someone was charged, and you know, coincidentally, he's from Elizabeth. But I will say no more on that regard.
Wow.
And so again, this crew, they are in the business. You know, Dwayne Sands went to S.C. McPherson School. This would have been sometime last year, early part of last year, where Minnis was the guest speaker for a constituency in Garden Hills. Dwayne Sands went to the school and told the principal that this meeting cannot happen tonight. I'm the chairman of the FNM, and if this meeting happens tonight, there are going to be consequences. Me and my late friend Pamela Miller was on the phone with the principal, telling her he has no jurisdiction, no right to tell you, because he don't work for the Ministry of Education. That's the level that they go to when it comes to silencing the former Prime Minister. This is the same former Prime Minister, Hubert Minnis, who gave those two losers, who couldn't win a seat. Dwayne Sands is what, 0-3? Pintard was 0-2. Couldn't win nothing under the great Hubert Ingram. But they win a seat, and the man turned around and put him in his cabinet. And this is the thanks he get. For a man who came into the FNM, who won that seat 4 times, Clint, 4 consecutive times. I see where Dr. Minnis spends his personal money in that constituency, you know, doing infrastructure and doing all that, because he don't wait on the requisite authority to do it, but he does it himself. The people in Galani, I must say, they are pleased with his performance because he has been a good member of parliament.
Do you not think he is supporting this move? And when I say supporting his move, he has not spoken since this has been announced.
Right.
They had a press conference on Sunday, and they said that he has a role to play in the party, and they're hoping he accepts their he accepts their offer to play that role. He has not spoken since. Can it not be that he's going to come out and say, for the sake of the party, I'm going to fall in line?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
You don't think he'll
Absolutely
do that?
not. The Minnis, I know, and I will hope that he doesn't. All right, if I'm not good enough to be in your government or be around the table for a party that I held on as leader, what role? What role I can play? I play no role now. He's not even a shadow minister in the caucus. He's not. He's being told. He was told to his face in a central council meeting that he's not to speak on behalf of the Free National Movement. Now, the leader would have said, "Listen, if he wants to defend his government's record as former Prime Minister, he can do that. But he does not have the right to shape the direction of the party. That's fair. But this crew, I mean, and anybody who sends to support the former Prime Minister, they find a way to wipe them out. I was wiped out because why? We understand you're the chairman of the committee to bring the Dr. Minnis back. Me want to bring old man back. And so I would hope that the former Prime Minister, whenever he speaks in this matter, because he's going to speak to this soon, he doesn't give them what they expect. I'll swing this ball far left. I will put them in a position, Clint, that they won't see this one coming. The former Prime Minister is well accomplished. He is well successful in money and everything else. He has climbed the political ladder. He has a cushed resume. He has served as Minister of the government, served as leader of the opposition, served as leader of the party, served as Prime Minister. They can never see that, and they will never see that, because I'm hoping that Philip Brave Davis wins a second term.
You are now
absolutely
saying that you believe Philip Brave Davis.
Yes, I believe the Prime Minister will win a second term. Because why? The Prime Minister's focus, he's about the people, he's about people's policy, and he's about getting on there. I've heard many people complain.
Well, why the change? Because, I mean, I started out this segment saying that I became familiar with you because you were talking, I was a press secretary, you were talking us every day, and you were talking the Davis administration every day. Why that change now?
Let me tell you the change. I'm not a fool. I don't do third parties, and I ain't going outside nowhere. I like to stay in the ship. I ain't going nowhere where I can, where I know there's things that happen. So I'm not going on the outside. I know inside a party that's viable, that has history, that has support, has good support. You know, the PLP has that. And so I'm not a PLP per se, because I'm not. I believe that Brave Davis is far better than Michael Pintard to lead this country. That's just my personal opinion.
Do you think the FNM has the armory to win the administration?
Absolutely not. They're going to be rolling out some candidates, Clint Watson. We could go to any junior school or primary school and find better candidates. Unfit, can't buy carnation cream, have no qualifications. They are basket cases. They have no nation building. They only want to get a free ride of 5. Michael Pintard, in fact, wants a team that who could kiss the ring. He don't want men around the table who are going to challenge him and speak to him in the way that he needs to be spoken to.
Iram Lewis has decided to join the COI. What's your take on that?
It was a shock to me. I think what Iram did, before they screw him, he screwed them. I don't subscribe him going to the COI. But that's his choice. I think he's been through a lot. When Iram stand up with various civil groups and different groups, they ostracize Iram. When Iram stand up in Grand Bahama with the GBP matter, they ostracize Iram. And so Iram is very patriotic. I support him in any way possible. He's my personal friend. I wouldn't go on to the COI, but that's his choice.
Do you think Dr. Minnis will run as an independent candidate?
I believe he will, but that's not the route I will take. But that's
really what route would you take?
I wouldn't do that. I will call a by-election soon. I will put them in the position. See, Dr. Minnis don't have to be in the parliament, He is well qualified and established in any step of the way. He don't have to be in there. He chooses to be in there because the love for people and his constituents. And I understand that. I wouldn't do it. I will put the FNM in the position today because they can't win no by-election. And this will be another blemish and a bad break in Pintard's camp. They can't win it. They had the Senator Duncombe. Senator Duncombe has been in Galani now working for the last 4 years. He's visible. He's been doing social programs. He's in the Senate. He's dealing with, with boys. And so he's there. So they don't even have a candidate who I believe could pull that enough time to win that seat for Galani. But hey,
and then there will no doubt be persons who are in Killarney who will not vote because Dr. Minnis is not on the
Absolutely. There are a lot of people, residents in Killarney who will support Dr. Minnis in any which way he go. If he runs as an independent, they will support him. And I believe that's what's going to happen.
Wow.
But before I just want to think, because see, this here is what they like to talk about.
What is that?
This is a copy of the Constitution of the FNM. This is no longer respected in the FNM. This is this is nothing. Pintard and Sands is the god in the FNM. They don't abide to this. They made a statement on Sunday where they made the decision to not give Minnis the nomination. The council never approved of that. They never went to a meeting and say, the record reflect that we had a central council meeting and when Minnis' name came before the central council, that was rejected. That never happened. In fact, Michael Pintard went to call Dr. Minnis on the phone and tell him he coming to his house to meet with him. Minnis said, you ain't coming to my house. So they met at his office in Galani. And Pintard told Minnis to his face that he's not running him. And then the same night he went to the central council and never informed the council that he was going to run, that's what the constitution gave with Minnis. They have no regard for this constitution. This should be teared up. They have no respect for this. They have no respect or no regard for this. And let me tell the Bahamian people something. If they cannot respect the constitution of their own party, if they can't abide to the constitution of their own organization, how are they going to say they won't be legislators of this country to govern this country? They're lawbreakers. And I'm going to advise every Bahamian tonight. If you know the Michael Pintard, Dwayne Sands, I know. And let me say this again. If they could destroy and tear up and do their own bad, myself and Iram and all the people they destroyed and Dr. Minnis, you can imagine what they can do to you? You imagine, Les was on the show last night, he was very right when he said that. Could you imagine what they'll do to Clint Watson or any one of your people in here if they become the government of the Bahamas? And that's why every day, Clint, 7 days a week and double on Sunday, sun up and sun down, I'm going to rail against them because they are not good for this country. Those two men are basket cases and they're lawbreakers, and I will not support that.
All right. Richard Johnson, thank you.
Thanks
for coming and sharing your view, and we will see how it plays out, what happens.
Thanks, I'll be glad.
We're going to a break. When we come back, we're going to talk about something involving our young people. Opportunities for our young people to become climate ambassadors. We're going to talk about that. Stay close. You're watching The Rundown. We're back after this.
Hi,
Hi, Phil Swift here for the Flex Seal family of flood protection products. Our flood protection products are specifically designed to work together in order to create multiple layers of super strong protection. All these windows, doors, seams, and openings have all been sealed up tight. Now there's a new way to protect your home or business from damaging floodwaters. Get the removable Flex Seal family of flood protection products.
Let's go. At Frame Studio, as soon as you enter the door, we showcase any individual that comes in there and make it feel like they are at home. The space itself is 1,800 square foot. Our psych wall, which is industry standard also, is 24 feet wide. You can do anything that you can possibly think of. At Frame Studio, under our theme, Now Create More, we look at Frame Studio as a canvas. And any artist knows a canvas is blank, and then you create whatever you want to do, right? So we have where you could rent tools. We even have workstations that people could rent out. To anyone inspiring to do what I've done, or what my colleagues have done, or any other journey, I would say to you, don't be afraid. The worst someone can actually tell you is no. So if you have a vision, you have an idea, not everyone will get it. But if you believe in your vision, you believe in your idea, I say go wholeheartedly at it.
For more information about the Creative Entrepreneurs Initiative and the Crafting the Bahamas workshops, email info@sbdcbahamas.com or call us at 461-7232.
Imagine a training hub for career, technical, and vocational excellence. A center that transforms academics to application, preparing confident, competent.
Welcome back to the Rundown. We're in our final segment tonight, and of course, the deadline is approaching for application to the Bahamas Climate Change Youth Ambassadors Program. The Office of the Prime Minister's Climate Change and Environmental Advisory Unit is leading the charge to equip young Bahamians with a platform to advocate climate change action and represent the Bahamas on a local and international level. Providing us with more details tonight is the Office of the Prime Minister's Climate Change Advisor, Charles Hamilton. Good evening, sir. Welcome to the Rundown. Good to have you.
Good to be on here, Clint.
Listen, climate change is always a topic that, as of late, Bahamians are listening.
Yeah.
Before, it was like a foreign term. Now, after we've seen what the effects and the impact of climate change, people listen when we talk about climate change. Talk to us about this latest initiative to look for that youth ambassador. What is the purpose of this, first of all?
Look, Clint, we have experienced some of the most terrifying moments in our country. Hurricane Dorian.
Yes.
And I think that opened up the eyes to the Bahamian people about climate change.
Yeah.
Right? So this initiative, it's in its fourth year now, is to empower young Bahamians to be involved in the climate advocacy space, to create an opportunity for young people to not be tokens, but to be agents of change. And so this Climate Youth Ambassadorship will enable 2 young Bahamians, 1 male, 1 female, aged 18 to 25, to be an advocate for their peers, to implement a national program, and to speak for Bahamians who need for their voices to be heard on the international level. And so, we were talking about how oftentimes we hear that persons feel like they don't have opportunities.
Correct.
But this is an opportunity for Bahamians to have their voice heard.
Right.
So Bahamians, yep, look here. I can look into this.
Yeah, right there.
Right? Right here. Take out your phone. Go on Instagram. Go on Facebook. Type up CCEAU. And you will find the application to be the NETS Youth Climate Ambassador. Are you passionate? Are you ready for change? Are you ready to implement a program that will impact your peers and will help your community to grow? If you believe that you have it, please apply. Apply today. We're 2 weeks out.
2 weeks out.
2 weeks out.
What makes a good ambassador? Because people may be sitting there watching and saying, well, I may not be well-versed in climate change. I may not have followed that circle, but I believe I can learn. Do you have to be somebody who's already in that space? What makes a good ambassador?
Look, an ambassador is someone who's willing to take the message from the country into the field. And so you don't need to be an environmentalist. You don't need to be a climate scientist. Climate change impacts every single aspect of our country. And so you just need to be willing to learn, be willing to work as a team, be willing to execute your plan to its full potential. And so this is a capacity building opportunity. This is for you to learn. This is for you to be exposed. This is for you to help other people to know that, hey, I'm not in the climate sciences, but I know that I work outside. It's getting hotter. I want to go into law, and I'm finding that it's difficult to be able to get insurance. I want to be able to work in agriculture, but it's difficult to grow my food. And I want to find a way to change that and get climate finance in for my country and to help my community know that we're more than just persons who are going to be surviving. We're going to be thriving because we're going to advocate for ourselves.
Are our young people, do you believe, informed or educated enough about the impacts of climate change? And I say that based on the fact that for many years when I worked out of the office of the Prime Minister, we would all travel to these conferences on climate change, and we would be to the youth forums. I remember going to the youth forum, and we would hear these young people so passionate and so knowledgeable about climate change and its impact. And I always oftentimes said, do we have Bahamians who are in that same sphere? And we would see our Bahamians go up, and they would be able to just rival the same thing their counterparts were doing. They were there. Are we getting the message across to our young people about the impacts of climate change?
I definitely believe that we're getting the message across. I think that they just need a louder microphone to be able to get their voices heard. And so this is why we're creating this platform. We're creating this opportunity for you to be able to go out on the stage. Look here, people, COP, and these other climate change meetings, they're work. It is so much work, and being able to network and being able to just speak off the cuff, because sometimes that one opportunity you get to speak with a world leader might lead to some type of campaign happening here at home or an opportunity to fund a community. And so you need to be able, you be the person to be able to advocate for your island. Clint, I think we've seen the past couple of years climate youth ambassadors. Most of them have been from New Providence. I want this year for a climate youth ambassador to come from the Family Islands. And so I know that this platform is reaching across the archipelago. Look, from Abaco in the north to Inagua in the south, apply today. I'm going to remind you, pull out your phone, because I know you have it, scrolling on TikTok or in some Trapsy WhatsApp group. Look up CCEAU on Instagram or on Facebook, and you will see the application to be a climate youth ambassador today. 2 weeks, you can't do it. You can't do it in one day. You have to start today. Today is the time to take on the opportunity.
What are some of the opportunities going to be available to ambassadors? Where are some of the places they will be, some of the forums they'll be invited in? Tell us a little bit about that.
Absolutely. We know that we have the climate weeks that happen in New York City in September. And of course, you have the annual COP conferences that happen. This year, COP 30 is going to be in Brazil. And this will be the 10th year anniversary of the Paris Agreement. And in a world where we're seeing, multilateralism seems to be shaky, this is where young people actually need to be, to say, we cannot allow a platform like Paris or like COP to fall apart, because our voices are equal there, right? And so, young people, I'm telling you, besides the opportunities to travel abroad, you're also going to get the support of the Prime Minister's office to carry out an initiative in your community. And that's why we're telling you, make the platform, create a 6-month plan, and we're going to help you with it. But you have to put, what is it? The Bible talks about, write the vision, make it plain. And that's what we're trying to challenge you to do. We're handing you the opportunities. You have to reach out and grab it.
Is there still optimism in the global space for this war against climate change and for financing, particularly for vulnerable countries like Bahamas, especially in a time where there's been a change in guard in the United States, and it seems as though that commitment will be stepped back on. Do you feel as if what is the conversation in the global space when you come together as climate activists? Is it that, okay, we still committed to this, or is it, oh my goodness, we've just taken a step back and this financing may not happen?
I know that there is a tendency to fear when we see changes in policies and shifts in government. However, I think that the shift has actually helped us to strengthen how we will think and handle this issue. You're seeing other countries step up in areas that we never thought would happen. You're seeing certain alliances form and people saying, you know what? Climate change is important because it's needed for our economies to function. And so while some partners may pull back, others are advancing forward. And so we need to take advantage to step in that space and be there when new partnerships are forming and opportunities for new financing is opening up. And so, young people, do you want to be there? We're in a very interesting space, and you could help to inform how our country will move into the future. So,
do we have a climate adjustment strategy? Do we have these things, these policies that people can readily read and find out about what we're doing here in the Bahamas?
Absolutely. If persons go online and they look up N as in Nicholas, D as in Domino, C as in Charles, NDC 2022. That is the Bahamas' policy for how we will address climate change. Of course, we also have our third national communication to the UNFCCC, and that's also online outlining what we're doing. And so, of course, you have the new energy era. You have all of these initiatives that are going on because we know that we need to engage in policies that will help our country to thrive and also address the issue of climate change. So these are all online people of the Bahamas, and we're going to look if we can put them on our Facebook page as well. If you go to CCEAU, you might see them there.
How many have you had climate ambassadors before? How many years have we had them?
We've had them for 3 years, and this will be the 4th cohort.
What have the experiences been from the past ambassadors? What have they?
It's been amazing. Some of them have been really, all of them have been inspiring. There are some who have gone off to do their masters, some who are working within the field here in the Bahamas, others who are, looking to create new organizations, and I believe this ambassadorship helps to propel them in that area. And so I'm looking forward to what the next set of ambassadors will do, because they have a set of energy. I'm not old, but I feel like I look at them like, where are you all getting this energy from and these ideas? And so I'm looking forward to who the new ambassadors will be.
I'll give you the final word again. Go ahead and tell people what they need to do, what they should have, what they're going to be required to do when they go to apply, and where they can apply.
Again, use our phone for good. Instagram, CCEAU on Instagram or on Facebook. You're going to need to click on the link. It's going to take you to the application where you're going to fill out, a few questions. You have to get in references, your CV, so that's your resume. You have to answer a essay question. And we want to find out what your platform is going to be. That's why I said you can't wait until December 22nd to get it all done. Once you submit that information, you'll be contacted for an interview if you're shortlisted. And on July 3rd and July 4th at our Bahamas Youth Climate Conference, we will announce who will be the next climate change ambassador. We should come back and talk about the Youth Climate Conference.
I was going to tell you, you have to come back and talk about the conference. When I heard that, I was like, oh, is it that time again?
It's that time
come back and talk about that, because that's always a great time for people to interact. Young people get to interact with the Prime Minister and talk about what's happening in climate change.
Absolutely. And so, Clint, I leave it to the people. We're going to lead you to the resources. Take it. The power is yours.
Thank you, Charles Hamilton. It's always a pleasure having you. Thank you for coming on, and we'll talk to you again about that conference coming up.
Thank you, Clint.
All right, that does it for the Rundown tonight. Be sure to stay locked on the ZNS network for the Bahamas tonight at 11. It's a final newscast in the country with the latest news and information with anchor Royston Jones. I already see him in the building, and I can tell you, I'd give you a little tip. The top story is a late-breaking video that just came out with the Prime Minister. You want to stay tuned to 11 o'clock news to hear what the Prime Minister has to say. That's it for us here in the ZNS network. For all of us, I'm Clint Watson. Thanks so much for joining us. Please have a good night, everyone. At the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas, I'm Clint Watson, and this is ZNS.
What protects you when prices surge, products fail, or promises aren't kept? The Consumer Protection Commission is working behind the scenes to create a fair, transparent, and accountable marketplace for all Bahamians. This is Protecting the People, how the Consumer Protection Commission is shaping